or no? Just let me know. Just take your time. Y'all nigga, my niggas stay on your grind.
Hello and welcome to the Bella Networking TV show every Monday, #Monday Motivation. And today, as always, we are hosted in Scallion Accountancy. So a big thank you to George. And if you have any accountancy needs or questions, please hit the website above. And today I'm joined by my gorgeous guest, Eugina. And today is all about how to find your love life that you desire. So straight off the bat, I have to say, this is not a PG topic today. So if you are watching, you need to be over the age of 18. We're going to be talking about relationships, intimacy, and a little bit of sex. So if you have any questions for the expert here, Eugina, then drop a comment below. And guys, this is going to be about a 15-minute to 20 minutes interview. And please stay tuned to the end because Eugina's going to share a couple of tips with you. So if we have any single men or single women that are watching, your questions will be answered. So without further ado, I would love to introduce my guest. Over to you, Eugina.
Hi, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, and thanks so much for hosting me. And it's a fantastic Monday morning. I'm really excited. And hi everybody, my name is Eugina Alejnikova, and I help spiritual men and women create the love life they desire and create relationships they love.
Fantastic, thank you so much. I've actually been waiting for you to come on my show because I really wanted to do a topic like this. And we actually met through networking, so that proves networking works.
It works.
And you attended one of my networking events.
Yes.
Thank you for coming along. So when did you start your business?
I started my business in September 2017. And I was working in the corporate world before in a global law firm, and I loved my job, but I kept on feeling that I was created to do bigger things.
That feeling that a lot of us have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, yeah, I love people and I love being part of their lives, and I'm sure that I'm meant to do greater things.
Yes. I definitely understand. And what was that aha moment? I want to be my own boss, I want a business owner.
So, I actually put on my vision board, I've met a coach online, and I thought, it's like, oh my God, I so want to work with her. But it's like working with her was like over $20,000 for 6 months.
Yes.
Plus I don't have business idea or anything. So I put her name on my vision board. And what you think, 2 weeks later, she announces that she goes on tour. And London is one of her stops of destination. So she's looking for a team to create an event for her. And I was like, oh my God, that's me!
Bullseye.
That's it. So she lives completely in a different country. There is no way of us meeting. I just put her name on the vision board, and here it is 2 weeks later.
Meant to be. I totally agree with that. So tell me, exactly what are your services? And do you say you're a relationship expert, a consultant? What would you say like your role is?
So, actually I'm a coach.
Coach.
Yes, and the coaching is a goal-orientated practice.
Goal-orientated. And then when you help a client, how does that tend to work?
So we usually work online most of the time. I also do workshops like group sessions. And I organize retreats. I love working with people face to face, and there is nothing beats this personal connection. But actually, for one-to-one sessions, I really love doing it online. And actually, without any video.
Yes.
So
by audio.
By audio
right.
only.
So you prefer not to see each other, like
Yes.
the Skype days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I just have a feedback from my clients
Yes.
that it allows them to go inside themselves.
Right, I get you. Because it's
Yeah.
so sensitive,
Yes.
they might feel nervous
Yes.
or intimidated. So
Absolutely.
when it's audio, they can open up a bit
Yeah.
more. Oh,
Yeah.
well done.
They don't have to feel it's like, oh, what's she gonna think about me?
Judgment.
Yeah,
Got
absolutely.
you.
And they have this opportunity to go deep inside and reach the parts of themselves that actually are impossible to reach otherwise.
Yeah, and I like the way you're maximising online because it
Yeah.
makes it convenient. They don't
Yeah.
need to leave their home.
Oh,
They,
yeah.
Because your role is so intimate,
Yes.
they need to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
So tell me about one of the biggest achievements. We were talking about it before. You had a male client that suffered from depression.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it and how you helped him
Sure.
achieve his goal.
Sure. Well, actually, I love sharing this story because it's one of the brightest stories. What is possible when you actually choose to take control of your life? So I've been working with this guy from the beginning of this year, and when we've met, he was severely depressed. He was recovering alcoholic, crying himself to sleep, thinking that he gonna die alone. Like really huge fear of like living his life alone. And now fast forward 9 months that we work together, he's in a beautiful relationship with a woman of his dreams.
Yes.
And he is at the top of the class. He's learning how to help kids with disabilities. Depression is long gone, a better relationship with the family, very confident. Perhaps I really hope he's gonna write a book because he has got a fantastic message to the world, and just overall very successful man.
So for some of the viewers that are watching who most probably might be single, the males or the ladies, what kind of hope do you give to those that have been on their own long term, single for a long time, that they can still achieve that women or man of their dreams? What motivation do you give them?
Sure. Like what I have discovered, one of the main reasons why people are unsuccessful in their love life or that they're dreading their single life is because the lack of love towards themselves.
So you believe it should all start from within.
Absolutely.
And then you can attract the right love.
Absolutely.
So how do you go about somebody who might feel insecure and they can't see any love? How do you guide them to see things that are great about themselves?
Well, this is a fantastic question. And what I love doing, I love my clients to actually write a list what is great about themselves.
Okay.
So, because, sometimes we know, oh yeah, I'm good at this, but we mostly negatively talking to ourselves inside our heads. And this is actually what is killing us. But when you take a piece of paper and write down, oh, I'm great at helping people. Oh, I'm actually a great cook. Oh, I love taking care of kids. Or I love helping elderly. And you just start with one thing and then you see your list expands. And then it's like, oh, after all, I'm not that bad. Actually, there are good things about me.
That is excellent because they say your mind is the most powerful thing. So I can totally understand somebody that might feel insecure, not sure of themselves. But the more they're writing it down, they are making that bit of a connection with themselves to explore other avenues. That's brilliant. So guys, if you've just tuned in, you are watching the Bella Networking TV show, and we are hosted at Scallion Accountancy. If you have any accountancy questions or accountancy needs, do hit the website up above or have a look in the bio. And we're joined today by Eugina, who is a relationship coach, and we're talking about what it really takes to find that amazing man or amazing woman of your dreams. And again, this is not a PD show today, so you do need to be over the ages of 18. So when you work with your clients, Do you agree there should be a minimum period or a maximum? Because I'm sure we all know love does not come overnight.
Oh,
And what
for
are your
sure.
recommendations?
Well, it actually very unique to each client, you know, because somebody as severe depressed individual, it could take a bit longer. And somebody who is already on the road to recovery, it might take a bit sooner. So I have clients who started already dating and getting in the relationship after 5 weeks of working with me. And somebody, or like maybe it would take a few months, like with this client that I have mentioned, it took him about 6-7 months to start dating. So yeah, so it was all about getting yourself ready. Because if you're not ready inside yourself, if you actually don't feel that you deserve love, then anybody you meet, you just will not be able to accept it. And that is the main thing.
Sure. Another question I have, whether or not you feel pressured in your coaching, because the ultimate goal is to stop the loneliness and to find that partner, which means you have to help them in some ways gain a new relationship. And how do you feel? Do you feel sometimes that it may not be possible with some clients, or you always get to that end goal?
In my practice, every client that I worked with, they had their goal reached. Yes, absolutely. And not everybody wants to meet a partner. Some people I work with, they're already in the relationship.
Right,
And
that's interesting.
Yeah, and some of those relationships are very on a thin line of breakup. And actually,
so repairing as well.
Yeah.
So one of the things, like in the guest form that you filled in, was all about having a great romance and you know, a great relationship. So what, in your eyes, constitutes a good romance, good relationship, and a healthy relationship? What do you think that means? I'd love to know what that means from you as an expert.
Well, you know, actually, over the weekend I ran a workshop where the fundamental thing that I have shared, that is our personal boundaries. And this is something, in my opinion, has to be taught at school, but unfortunately it isn't. So it's finding out that ground. You know, I love to see boundaries as it's a fence around the house. And then this is your territory where you can feel free to let go and to play fully out. You can put you can plant the flowers there. You can do the like vegetables, grow vegetables. You can.
You're in control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I get you.
So to have these boundaries is, what are 5 things that are hard yes and 5 hard no's for you?
Okay, I like that. What are the 5 things that are the most difficult and 5 that are not difficult to establish?
Yeah, it's like where, like for example, for some people they like to be in monogamous relationship. Is this a must be for you? How do you want to be treated? You know, like for example, does your partner, would you want to date somebody who have got children or not? Is this a yes or a no
So
for
be
you?
very aware what your non-negotiables
Yes,
are, and it's okay to have those.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
So a question also, when you're guiding a client that might be entering a new relationship, do you also provide feedback when they are at the early stages of dating, say, and they might want to get your opinion? Could that be part of your services as well?
Well, absolutely, absolutely. And actually, I have worked with some people who in early stages of their relationships, and they don't really know where it's going or actually what they want.
Or in control of it. That's excellent. So you started 2017. What's coming up for your business? Where do you see your business in the next 6 months or a year's time?
Well, like I mentioned before, I love personal connection with people. So I want to be doing more events and actually I want to be doing more retreats. So part of my business is I am a co-founder of Academy of Conscious Sexuality.
Great. I think I added that. So it's Academy of
Conscious Sexuality.
Fantastic. Lovely.
Yes, and I work in collaboration with other amazing people, and we doing the retreats all over the world. And our next destination is Mexico.
Wow, that's brilliant. So you've been in business almost a year, coming up to a year now. Is there anything you could whisper in your ear that you did wrong or that you would have done in a different way since you started your business, being a fresh new entrepreneur?
This is a great question, and to be honest, now thinking about it, like looking back, I just needed to believe it myself more. But I guess that all of this comes with experience.
Being confident of being your own boss. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for a lot of business owners. That is a scared factor, definitely.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've just tuned in, you are watching the Bella Networking TV show. And guys, I host this show every Monday, and you are able to see replays up above on this link if you're watching through YouTube, or just hit the links, the scroll button down if you are watching on Facebook. And I'm joined by Eugina, who is a relationship and a sex expert coach. And she's going to share with us one or two of her good opinions on how you can better your relationships. So for some of the viewers, what would you give as a tip or two on how they can achieve their goals? What should they start with, do you think?
So in my opinion, number one thing is loving your life. Loving who you are with all of your flaws, with all of your brilliance, you know, not waiting for somebody to come and validate you.
I love that. Don't wait for somebody to validate you. Also be happy with what you're not good at and your weaknesses and your flaws. I think that's a good way, and a good way to start the week, actually. So by Thursday, you know, you're just in love with yourself. That's fantastic. Every guest on my show, I'm always interested to know, if you were not a relationship and sex expert, what hobby would you turn into a job, or what other career would you do?
You know, my childhood dream was to become a fashion designer.
Really?
Yeah. So
I can see that a bit in you, because you always dress quite stylish when I see you.
I love to look good, and it makes me feel great. You know, it's like another way how I love myself.
Because it works with your philosophy as well. How you feel on the inside, or the clothes you wear, is how you actually feel on the outside. That makes a lot of sense.
For sure. And and actually, now you asking this, I'm starting my t-shirt line.
Oh my goodness!
So with my own design. So perhaps after all, my childhood dream is going to become a reality.
No, that would be good, and you can come on the show again and promote the t-shirt line. That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Before we end the show, I always give my guests an opportunity to ask me a question, and I've actually named this hashtag Just Ask Bella. And if you guys have any questions, just do the hashtag Just Ask Bella. So what's your networking question to me?
So, you know, we've met through networking, and networking is absolutely amazing. Actually, most of my clients, they came through networking. I'm going to networking like for maybe 6 days out of 7 in a week, and I meet loads and loads and loads of people. So how do I convert those people that I meet, you know, into the warm leads and actually essentially to the clients or somebody who would be interested in my services?
Definitely, that's quite a common question that I'm asked. Now, similar to yourself, it's about having that goal and knowing what you want. And it's okay to be very clear, these are the customers that I would like from networking. So you have to be very clear. And you have to be very clear on what those characteristics look like as a customer like yourself. Are they in a relationship? Do they need a new relationship? What are their difficulties? Is it inner strength? You know, you really need to identify that. Now, what I also say is the magic of 3. because you're going to a lot of networking events, and if we were to say you're collecting, say, 20 business cards each day, that's a lot in 1 week.
Yeah.
So a way to simplify things and to really home in and maximize lead generation is to focus on the power of 3. So think about those 3 people that you really want to meet, and when you're networking, make sure you create the 3 deep, meaningful relationships, and make sure that you execute those relationships into a coffee follow-up, because when you've met them at a networking event, you've already qualified them, you've been having great conversations to make sure they're your target audience, so that box is ticked. And then you want to continue those conversations and find out what their needs are as if they were to be a client. And then the best way to do that is through a coffee follow-up.
Right.
And then, you know, really find out using what their needs are to offer your services, and then you're going to have that better match. And then it will be a much simpler process to follow through, and you'll start to see better results because you're more targeted.
Oh, I see. This is a fantastic tip. Because, yeah, like I'm going to the networking events, meeting lots of people, collecting lots of cards, and it's like follow up. Of course, you're having a conversation, but it's not necessarily always goes further.
You have to think about that 80 to 20%.
Yeah.
And you need to be realistic. You know, say if you do get the 20 business cards, as I said, for 1 week, you know, 20 times 5 is 100 new people you met. You know, it would be great in the worlds of mathematics if the 100 do automatically turn into new business, but it doesn't work like that. You have to build the deep relationships first and then convert. And it's great for you because that's the nature of your work as well. The moment you talk to them, you find out what their needs are, and then you can express how you can help them. So it matches very well with your industry.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
So thank you so much for your tips. I really enjoyed that. And it's proven that networking works, because this is how we've met and we're here together. So guys, if you have any questions for Eugina, have a look in the bio, all her details are there. And if you have any accountancy questions, please get in touch